Another video here from the Tokyo real estate man. And usually when I start these videos of late, I've been on my Instagram, but today, no, I'm not. I'm on the night. This page is on Escape from New York, which is the absolute 1981, 1980s. If you're a Generation Xer like me, 1981 classic. And dystopian look at the future. And in some ways that I'm back here, I've lived in Tokyo for 30 years and I've lived here in Vancouver for a year and a bit as my kids go to school here. And this, I sometimes think that this dystopian future of Escape from New York has really, I think this is our life here in downtown Vancouver right now with all the drug addicts and everything like this and the state of the housing. And it's almost got to that is that this escape from New York has become a real legitimate strategy for people in that I do have a couple of tenants right now in my Tokyo units have decided to. One of them actually is a couple from Brooklyn. They actually have escaped from New York and they're renting my Shibuya two-bedroom apartment for themselves, and that's what they've done. Again, now there's another gentleman in my Nakameguro unit who has decided to escape from I think he's from Eastern Canada or Toronto, and they both are in both cases. The couple are both remote workers, and the gentleman in the Nakameguro unit is a remote worker as well. And I thought this would be a good segue to do sort of a relative sort of analysis of the real estate markets. And this is directed at young people, especially here I'm using the Vancouver as a model, and maybe it's not the best model because it is probably the highest priced market relative to the wages that you can make in North America. Anyhow, what I've done here with this with this map here is you can see right here, I've set the minimum price of an apartment at $300,000, and I set the maximum price for just not it has to be an apartment. You're not going to get a detached house at this point in time. Just as a comparative way of looking at both the Tokyo market and the Vancouver market. Now here. In the Vancouver market, we see here when I put over the 42, we can see there's a bunch of stuff that come in the 350s. These are all on rented land. This one particular apartment, I have opened a tab for it because this is the one on, I think it's called Anchor Point, and it's at Burrard and I think Beach Avenue or Pacific. I'm not sure. I think it's Pacific. Anyhow, my friend used to rent apartment in this building in the 1990s, and I've been in, and also I used to have kind of a semi-girlfriend who used to rent it's considered in downtown Vancouver, not really a ghetto, but like the very bottom end of the market, and that's why the apartment is priced at the very bottom end. However, it is an entry point. It is an entry point, and I thought we could look at it as an example. For example, right here, I did crack open this listing, and sure enough, it is Anchor Point, apartment 509 1330 Burrard Street. And you can see by the pictures, it's just nothing special. It is a studio unit that I believe was 471 square feet. I was going to say meters. It was 471 meters. That would be one heck of a building or one heck of a unit. You see the maintenance fees here are basically $300 a month, and parking type is visitor parking. So there's no parking really. That's what they're saying. There's no parking for you basically in the building. 471. I get it right. Lot features. There's no lot. There's a view. I guess I'm not sure which direction the view is. I'm sure if we flick through these pictures, they might be indicated. We could do so. We see that the unit itself is just very, very bare minimal. Nothing special about it at all. I'm totally like suspicious right now because both of these are like Haida beds or IKEA like bed specials. So the apartment right now might be rented to maybe as much as 2 or 3 people because there's a bedroom there, and then maybe 3 people are were renting it at one point in time. I'm not really sure. Anyhow, we see that it's nothing special. We can see here through the window here that there's no sort of huge view. That's a view, I guess, from the apartment to the bridge. So the very busy street. And yeah, I mean, it's not a bad. This is the actual courtyard between the buildings right now. The one thing about this building is it is a lot of potential lottery winner because of this sort of internal like space in between the buildings. Was that this building was built in the 1980s, and they don't. They just, frankly speaking, they just don't waste land like this any longer. So yeah. Anyhow, it's not a terrible price. But I thought that we could look though, like as well here. I did a little mortgage comparison here. If I can ever figure out how to do this, I guess I have to get out of the picture function to do that. And anyhow, we're back here on the home site, and I did put it on the calculators here, and you can see the price is going to be $449. And I live here in downtown Vancouver, and the suite across the hall from me apparently has sold, as I did talk to the realtor, and he told me that the market was sort of heating up. Whether that's true or not, that's just one anecdotal sort of. But so far, we haven't seen the price compression that I thought that we would have, like given that the interest rates have jumped up from very cheap to 5% as to where they are right now. Maybe that's. It's just simply the inflation that's sort of checking off. The inflation is just increasing the price or holding the price in some ways as well, which is the goal of the central banks right now. Anyway, yeah, looking here at the pricing for financing for something like this, we see that, for example, a 20% down payment of $89,000 gets you a monthly payment of $2,093. Plus a management fees, I guess, of $23. So if you were to actually put $100,000 down on this unit, I think it's not a terrible investment. Actually, I would even say $125,000, and then you might even be cash flow positive. I'm thinking that you possibly could rent this unit for $2,000 a month. So it might even just be break even at that point. And given the inflationary backdrop that we're in right now, that might not be all that terrible. However, I do have so this is just a brief look at the very bottom of the Vancouver market. And the theme of this video, as I said, is escape from New York or escape from the West to Tokyo. And here is the I'm trying my best to compare apples to apples, and we have what we had downtown Vancouver, and right now we have central Tokyo, centered around the Shibuya area, which is the one I really know best. And you can see here there are various sort of samples. Here is a place right near Yoyogi Park that's 15 meters. Certainly, it's a smaller size unit than the one here, 15. This is going to be about just under 200 square foot, so it is half the size of the comparison that we looked in Vancouver. But I think the point with this is that it's choice. Is that if you do not have the money to get into like a larger unit like this one, for example, probably right near Shibuya, right? And we have this 39 meter unit, which is exactly the same. This is actually a really good apples to apples comparison right here. I think this is in a Shua building. Let's crack it up and have a look. And we'll move over to this listing as well. We can see that, sure enough, it's in the Daikanyama. Yeah, so this is really a location. And for $400,000, you can be in Daikanyama in a very, very nice apartment. It's obviously lived in right now. So, yeah, I think it's a really good deal, actually. It's a really good deal. This is really an A1 location. And then I think that you could rent this suite for probably 18 or just under 2,000 a month. Okay. The financing, however, would be much cheaper than Vancouver because your interest rates are going to be for the variable rate under 1%. So like this is an actual savings vehicle. So my argument for young people is I think that you have to escape Vancouver, because right now I think all your wages during when your career time between the ages of 20 and 40, when the career is sloped in your way, all your wages are actually being being sort of like raked up into the real estate business and ultimately the banks, because people are just maintaining their payments, and that's going up into the financial sector. So I think that Vancouver or the West is a good place to escape to Tokyo in your early 20s to 40s is a really good strategy. And then if you pick off a unit in a popular area in Tokyo, you will have that sort of, as I say, you will have that U-turn ability. Okay, U-turn ability. Okay, now let's go back to this map here, and we can look at some other samples because this is more of a mid-market choice that I've sort of chosen. And I sort of looked at this one right here, I think, in this area here. And here you have, there's an example of something you can pick up for 120,000. So you don't have to start, like, basically the bottom end of the Vancouver market for you to get into it. You need $450,000. However, you can get into the Tokyo market and the Shibuya market for right there. It's looking $120,000. I don't know what this one owner change. Oh, this is an owner change unit, so it's presently rented right now, so you couldn't live in this one. However, I did sort of kick off this one right here, and this one was a 20 meter unit in Ikejiryohashi. Okay, and this is along a busy street, and it's a very good comparison compared to that one in Vancouver, in that these are two busy streets that it's on. And I did crack up the listing for it right here, and let's have a look at it. So here we got a 20 meters, so it's about half the size. So half the size if you were to, so this is what, $140,000 Canadian, half the size. Now it is half the size. So I understand the sort of counter argument to, well, it's half the size, right? But actually, that gives a lot of people options when you're younger. Let's say you can't afford the down payment of $400,000. You don't have that option in Vancouver. You have this option in Tokyo. So you can come in to get a unit like this while you're in your mid-20s, like I did many, many years ago. This is a real sharp kitchen. Oh, I love it right now. And one of the strengths that is sort of designed in this kitchen is that a lot of the time the piping and stuff like that holds all this moisture in there, and when you have all this moisture in there, you have things like ants and insects that like to go underneath, and also becomes sort of a growing almost hive or environment for mold. So when you have this kind of thing where you could put some shelves down there on casters and roll them in and roll them out, and what happens that water vapor that stays in your drain area, it just dries out because of the natural drying effect. Yeah, that's really neat. This is a great kitchen. It's a really neat kitchen design. And of course, it's my favorite, stainless steel. Anyhow, there you go. Very simple unit ballot. This has not been updated. This is not, but it doesn't, as long as it stays in good shape, it will never need to be replaced. Here's a laundry basin right there. Laundry basin, tile building. Yeah, this is an IH range for the kitchen right there, which is standard. There's other things you could get. They have those sort of little Nabe propane sort of devices that you could get as well. So you can get a second burner on there as well. So, and you can get those propane canisters to hook it up. You get them at any grocery store, a pack of 3 for, I think, about 400 yen right now. And they would last you, like a pack of 3, I think would last you a couple of months. So it's actually a cheaper way to probably cook than use the electricity. And the electricity is very expensive right now in Vancouver, okay, or I mean in Tokyo right now. This is showing that there's just a device on the door to take your deliveries. Oh, this is probably a laundry machine here in the building, or maybe a laundry machine in the. We saw that there's a laundry machine and laundry hookups already in this apartment. Anyhow, I think this is a really great deal. 20 meters in Shibuya for a young person, so you can. If you're paying a huge amount of rent in Vancouver, I would say it's a good idea to escape. And here on the next page, I have done for this. This is a basically the financing model for this right here. And this has been calculated with no down payment. And as I've said in other videos, this is known as the Atomic-in. So let's put a 10,000. 1,000. That's 100,000. 10,000, or this would be hyakuman, you'd say 100, hyakuman, and 100 man Atomic-in, which is the down payment on this right there. It's calculated at 35 on and it's being calculated at the variable, but we can move that up into the 35 flat, which is about 1.8 right now. Average is 1.8, but it for the first 5 years right now, it's being calculated at under 1%. So the heaviest part of the loan right now is indeed under 1%. Okay. So basically, your monthly payments on owning this apartment in Ohashi, just sort of west of Shibuya, is $550 a month. So this is the reason you need to escape from Vancouver. This is the motokin, or the equity portion of the loan, which is your savings. Okay, so your savings. So here in Tokyo, once you have the financing, your real estate actually becomes a decent savings vehicle for yourself. So if you can imagine that you're saving this $3.5 or $300 a month, along with another $700 a month, over time, you're going to be able to, if you want to go back to Vancouver, because like you could go back to Vancouver, you're going to have so many more options because you're not letting your capital flow up into the financial sector. That's what you want to avoid. And that's why you need to escape to Tokyo. And it doesn't have to be Tokyo. It could be Yokohama. You can do what those people are doing right now in my Tokyo apartments. Granted, they haven't moved over to the buying side yet. They're still in the rental side, right? But if you can move over to the buying side and get this kind of financing, that's what's really going to give you the escape velocity. And the escape velocity is from the man. That's how you're going to escape the banking system. That's how you're going to escape the man. And there's no reason why you couldn't pick off 4 or 5 or 6 of units like these over the next 10 or 15 years. And then you'd have an actual business. Anyhow, this is another real estate video here by the Tokyo real estate man. And as we come back to these pictures of escape from New York, and we talk about the theme of all the reasons to escape from New York are here right now. It's just too expensive. And you cannot, as a young person, you cannot let your wages, because your wages in relation to capital are being outstripped right now. But in Tokyo, if you can get on the because there's options and choices in the lower stratas of the market, your capital will not escape you, and then you'll be protected. And if you want to U-turn back to Vancouver, if you have a unit in Tokyo that's in a popular Vancouver, wherever you want to be, if you have a popular unit in Tokyo, you can always sell it and then come back. Anyhow, another video here by the Tokyo real estate man, inviting you and everyone to follow the Instagram right here. Oh, I'm up one follower from yesterday. Maybe we had someone from the channel come over and follow. That'd be great. Many years of photos. I was just here in Tokyo. I have many years of photos here in Tokyo. I guess I should put it on the post. I did have this one post the other day I really like, with which is the train system and the map here based around, of course, Shibuya. I, of course, am a bilingual person, and I'm teamed with Nakamura after many years in Tokyo real estate. And if you are interested in purchasing something like this in Tokyo and escaping from New York, please take the time to contact me here at the Instagram, Tokyo Real Estate Man. And I also invite you to follow this channel and leave any commentary that you think might be pertinent or useful in this video. Tokyo Real Estate Man, この動画もう終わりです。ありがとうございます。すいません。